Good day and welcome to another first segment of A Week at the Plot. It's Tuesday afternoon. I didn't get down yesterday. Well, actually I did get down yesterday, but I didn't do a segment. I literally came down to do some harvesting of the Portuguese cabbage to make kale and walnut pesto, which we had last night, which was lovely. And today I have had a bit of a lucky find as I'm coming down here. Or I think it was a lucky find. I'll show you that in a minute. But the one thing that I wanted to get done today was a little bit of sowing of beetroot. And I've got two varieties. Did I put them in my back pocket? Yes. I've got two varieties of beetroot. I've got a, coincidentally, because I bought this last year, Ukrainian organic beetroot. And also Burpees Golden, which comes from Vital Seeds. These Burpees Golden are left over from last year. And I'm going to put them in the bed next to the spuds, where I put the colleen early potatoes. I'm going to put them in the bed next to that. And I'm just going to rake up the top of that soil, put some drills in, i.e. little trenches, mini trenches, and then sow thinly in there. We've already got some chard in there, and I'm hoping that chard will start growing once the weather improves a little bit. It's getting a bit, well, it's actually quite lovely today. It's about 13 degrees. It's quite nice. It's quite breezy, but we're going back down to about 2 degrees on Friday. So we're in that sort of full spring bit at the moment where you think, yay, it's almost sort of summer and t-shirts weather, and then the next day it sort of plunges down again. But yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to get that that bed sown with some beetroot, so that will have beetroot and chard in it. I'll show you the drills once I've laid them out. But first of all, let me just show you what I picked up on the way down here, which I think is going to be useful. So on my way down here, I found, actually with our neighbour, 2 bits of mesh, metal mesh. And I think if I can flatten this out, it will make a really good top, because it will be solid. So if any birds do land on it, it's not going to tear. If I had netting, that might be the case. And it's going to do the job that I want it to do, which is effectively to keep any birds off. So I think that's a really decent find. And in fact I found another, well, with this was another piece which is much longer. It's about 1.5 meters, but it doesn't fit that way. This one will have to fit that way, because this is the height, this is the overall height of the wire, so that one will have to go that way, and that one that way. Yeah, I might have to trim one of these sections off at the bottom, but I think that's really good. But what I'm going to do is pop them both back in there, and then I'm going to put some bricks on top of them to try and flatten them out a bit. But yeah, I think that's a good solution for the top of this. I guess the question is, do I put it on top here, or do I put it under here? I think on top, because there's a, yeah, I think on top. Yeah, definitely. Great. I think look, that's rotting a little bit. I'm gonna have to put some preservative on here before I do anything though. But yeah, solution. So you can see the furrows here. What's there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 furrows in total. So this is where we've got chard. We've got chard up to here, we've got chard along here and up there as well. So basically I'm sowing between where all the chard is, which is effectively up to this area, along here, down here, across there and down there. I'm going to sow the Ukrainian here and here, and then see how I go, and then the Burpees Golden into here, and this half length one or 3/4 length one over here. The furrows at the moment are about 2 inches deep, but once the soil goes back over them, they'll be about 1 inch deep. And then I'm going to give everything a really good watering, which will then settle the soil onto the seeds. So let's get sowing. Job done. I am actually going to do a couple more jobs today. I'm going to strim, but you don't want to see me strimming, I am sure. But I'm pleased to have got those beetroot sown. So that's a row and a quarter of Ukrainian beetroot, which I think is red, and 3 rows or 2 2/3 of a row of Burpees Golden. So fingers crossed for how they do. And as you saw, I gave them a really good water at the end after I'd sown them. So they were most probably sown about 2 centimeters, 1 inch deep, and it's quite light soil, so it will compact a little bit as well. And we'll see how they do. I did notice in the Burpees Golden, there seemed to be some other brassica in there as well. I don't know how. I mean, it's either from Vital Seeds, which I doubt, or I have accidentally put some in. But if we see some dazzling blue kale or something like that coming up in that row, we'll know to take it out. We'll only know that when the true leaf comes, really, though. So we will see how they do. I've had a little bit of a scrabble in the compost of trays that we've sown seeds in the polytunnel, because I sowed some red and green salad bowl a good couple of weeks ago, and nothing seems to have germinated, and other things haven't germinated either. The tomatoes I'm not so worried about. I think they will germinate because it's just been sort of quite cold, and also the cucumber. And that cucumber seed was sort of quite old and hadn't been stored that well. But I'm surprised that and what have I sown next to it? There's something I sowed as well. Oh no, those are tomatoes as well. I'm a bit surprised that none of the red and green salad bowl have germinated, and I can't see that any have. Now that's either that the seed is defunct, which it could be, because again it's old seed that hasn't been stored for a while, or it could be that there's an inhibitor in that compost, which of course is possible. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. If the tomatoes germinate, then the compost is absolutely fine. We shall see. We'll have to wait a couple more weeks though. I think, might I sow? I think I might sow. Might I sow? I think I might sow some more salad leaves though. Oh, I don't know. Because if I sow them in the same compost and there is a problem with that compost, then of course those aren't going to germinate either. Shall I just be patient? I think just be patient. I think that's the best thing to be. I'm not very good at being patient though. I guess as the because of course my mind is going, have I got any compost elsewhere? But I've used all the other compost elsewhere. Anyway, so no, I might be sowing some more seeds, I might not. We will see. I'm talking only about lettuce seeds. I am rambling. I am sorry, but I mean this is what it is to be a grower and a gardener. You know, you do something, and if it doesn't do within the time scale, the sensible time scale that you thought it should be doing something, you start wondering, is it the seed? Is it the compost? Is it simply because we had quite a lot of warm weather and now it's gone much colder, as I said earlier on, and the seeds are going, no, we don't want to germinate at the moment, it's too cold. You know, because that's what happens in nature. You know, seeds fall to the ground in a forest, and when the time is right and the environment and the temperature is right, if they are valid seeds, they will start to germinate. So we will see. I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to get on with strimming. So I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you again very soon for another segment of A Week at the Plot. Bye. Good day. Standing in the doorway of our communal shed. I've come in here to put in the last minutes of our committee meeting, and as I was coming down, the heavens opened. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's raining quite consistently now. Yeah, you can see this is an area where we keep our wheelbarrows and things, and that shed in front of us, that's been used in Vogue photo shoots quite a few times. But yeah, it's really squally, typical April weather, April showers and quite squally. I think I'm just going to wait here until this weather system passes and make a few notes on my phone because I don't have my pad with me. I was hoping to do a lot of raking today of the strimmings that are left over from having trimmed the whole plot yesterday, but with this wet weather, maybe not. When I left the house 7 minutes ago, it was bright sunshine and I had my sunglasses on, and now look at it. Anyway, I may see you in the shed a bit later. If not, I'll say bye now, just in case I don't get to the shed. 10 minutes later and we've got glorious sunshine. Look, there's my shadow. Though obviously everything is absolutely drenched, it is wet, but you will, I hope, be able to see how I did trim the plot yesterday. So everything is looking much neater than it has been, which is good. And I've also just sorted out our, well, we'll just go up there. I've just sorted out the washing up bowl ponds, which do need a top up. Though we do have frogs in each of them, so clearly the frogs are getting in and out. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can find some water in a bucket, which will be rainwater, and see if I can top these up. That one obviously is really surrounded by grass, but that's what the frogs like. They like a pond with shade. So this one has less shade, but the rhubarb leaves will soon be covering it. So hopefully they'll like that. Oh, but yes, look at that sky compared to what we had before. Quite remarkable. Oh, and as you see, as cabbage white butterflies just landed there. I think it might actually be there. Can you see it? I'm not sure if it's cabbage white or something else. Right, that is it for today. I'm just going to tidy up in the shed because everything is a little bit wet out here, and I haven't got the right shoes on either. So I will leave it there for today. Bye. Good day. It's now Friday afternoon. I came down with two tasks. One was to top up the washing up bowl ponds, which you've seen I have done. And the second task was to sow our first turnips of the year. And I have direct sown those in this smaller bed, as you have seen. Closest to us in the long line is Petrowski, so that's on the right. It's a pale yellow turnip. On the left is Snowball, which is, as the name suggests, a white turnip. Both have done well for us in the past, particularly Snowball. Now, even though we try and grow organically here, both of these seeds are seeds that aren't organic, but they're seeds that I've had in the fridge for quite a while. In terms of the Petrowski, I've used up all the non-organic seeds that I have, and in terms of the Snowball, I've most probably got about another third of a row that I could do elsewhere. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how quickly these germinate. Will they germinate before the beetroot? I sort of expect them to. As you saw, I treated them in very much the same way as the beetroot. I think all seed is precious, and that's why, as I say, even though we grow organically, I use non-organic seeds here because I had them, they're precious, and best to get them sown rather than to either not use them or potentially give them away where they won't be used elsewhere, because turnips I find are not a favourite crop for growers and allotmenteers in these times. They used to be a much more staple crop a decade or so ago, and certainly my dad and I used to grow them, but I find a lot of people don't grow them now, and it's a shame because turnips are very sweet, particularly if they're taken sort of bit bigger than a golf ball but smaller than a tennis ball. Anyway, I'm going to go back home now and mark these down in my Excel spreadsheet as sown, and then we will see when they germinate. Hope all is good with you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. Good day. I've been giving the muslin bags that have got the flowers of brassicas inside them a little shake so that the pollen can fall from the stamens, or from the anthers actually, onto the stigma and pollinate so that we have nice seed. So I've been doing that. Obviously the bees aren't getting in, but these are quite good at self-pollinating anyway, with the pollen, as I say, falling from the anther onto the stigma, so they should be fine. And earlier I was thinking, oh, there's not been much fox action lately, but look, I come down here today and a hole. As I look in the hole, I can't see that. Actually, that hole isn't where a potato is planted, because it's sort of here, here, here and here, so it's in the middle, but I can't see any shoots in there anyway. So I'm just going to pop that soil back on top there, or back into that hole, and I think give this a water, because actually the cardboard is quite soft underneath. Obviously I want the shoots to come through the cardboard, the shoots of the potatoes to come through the cardboard, so I need to make sure that the cardboard remains damp so that the shoots can break through the cardboard as they grow. I'm also noticing over there that the Brussels sprouts in the middle there are being used by our plot neighbours to feed their chickens, which is great. So they're taking out a whole stalk at a time, and the stalk is going in for the chickens to have a grub about with. So you can see there that it's been cut off, and there one's been cut off as well, and back here in the middle there too. So that's good, because I think this bed here is going to be a bean bed this year. We planted the beetroot. No, we didn't. We planted the turnips, where you can see the white labels on the far end of this bed on the right. But on the left there and in this bed here, I'm going to put climbing beans. And I think I'm actually going to do a double row of climbing beans, a double apex of climbing beans, if you like, in this bed here. And then the beans that I can't pick in the inside of the apex, the two apexes, will they can be dried beans. So yeah, but our broad beans, I saw Vivi's yesterday and they're looking really grand, and she's put string around to hold them up. Ours are not doing great this year. In fact, I've sort of got a feeling that this might not be a great year, because I've been into the polytunnel and I've had a look at our seeds that we sowed, the tomato seeds, the cucumber seeds, the lettuce seeds, and I can't see. I've ruffled up the soil a little bit, the compost a little bit, and I can't see any germination whatsoever. So I'm slightly concerned that maybe that compost that I've used has got an inhibitor in it. What I will do is I'll sow some seeds on loo paper, wet loo paper, and see how they germinate. And in fact, I may sow some other brassica seeds in that same compost and see how they do. So I find brassica seeds really quite robust, but I don't know, I've just got a feeling that this year's going to be a bit hit and miss. The lettuce over here are a complete hit, of course, which I'm pleased about. There's butterflies around. Yeah, these marvel of 4 seasons are a real marvel. I'm going to be taking some of those, harvesting some of the leaves shortly, and then going home for lunch, and then I'll be back a bit later. There's a few other things to do, including the potting on of these brassicas, but you've seen me do that. I think I'll be back and do that later. Here's our chamomile and our sunflowers. Both of those need a water. But you know what? I'm going to leave it there. Oh, looky look. Can you see there? And there. And can you see here? No, you can't because of the angle. Those are tree lilies coming up. I'll try not to strim those as I've done in previous years. Well, fingers crossed for that. Right, I'm going to leave this week here, and I'll see you again very soon for another week of A Week at the Plot. Hope all of your growing is going well. Bye.